far, my right, your left, is Art Mayton, Chief Executive Officer and President of Mandalay Baseball Properties. We'll turn the floor over to Mr. Levine initially. Once everybody is done speaking, we'll have an opportunity for media only to ask questions, and we'll have a brief question and answer session, and then we'll go from there. Again, thank you everybody for coming out this afternoon, and Randy Levine, Team President of the New York Yankees.
Thank you. Is this on? Can everybody hear me? Great. Well, it's wonderful to be here in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area, here at our stadium as we get ready to open the playoffs. To be in Lackawanna and Luzerne County, it's my honor to be here and to meet with all of you. And I wanted to come down here for a very specific, important reason. And I'm here not only on behalf of myself, both Lon and myself, but I'm here on behalf of the Steinbrenner family, the owners of the Yankees, and Al Steinbrenner, and everybody else associated with the Yankees. And the point that I want to make today is we love being here. We think that Scranton, Wilkes-Barre is a tremendous place for the New York Yankees to be. This is an area that offers us just about everything that we need from the New York Yankees perspective. It's close enough to New York. We have so many wonderful Yankee fans who live in this area. I walk Yankee Stadium, as does Lon, all the time, and almost every game I see people from this area, and they're great fans and fans who we appreciate. I wanted to come down so you heard it from me directly, because as often happens, there's a lot of misinformation, rumors, people who have nothing better to do than, gossip and create false information and, just make themselves feel important when they try and divert from the truth. And I think some of that, like has happened back home in New York, some of that has happened here. So let me say it on the record. The New York Yankees are in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, intend to be in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, love being in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and want to remain in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. Now, we would love to say that we could stay here for the next 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. We sign under the rules of baseball what's called a player development contract, which only allows us to say that we can be here 4 years at a time. But if we didn't have that agreement and those rules, I might be saying something a little bit different. And I want you to interpret the fact that I'm here, the fact of what I said, to indicate what the Yankees' real intentions are. We love it here. You had the Philadelphia Phillies here, a Pennsylvania team, for many years. They left. We don't intend to. So I wanted to make that very, very clear. Now, there's some examples of why you should believe me and believe the Yankees. The first is, we came here, we were presented the opportunity to come here, along with our partner Mandalay, to, in effect, have a management agreement to run this place, run this team. We thought it was a great opportunity. People involved asked us at the same time to commit to, through the 4-year process of the PDC, and of course, we did. We had some tough times here last year. We all did together. The field was not in good shape. There were problems. Never once did you hear a complaint from us. Never once did you hear, oh, we're going to get out of here. Never once did you hear anything but total teamwork. There's an opportunity to do something very special here. There's an opportunity through the leadership of Governor Rendell to build a new facility here in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and in Luzerne and Lackawanna County. As I understand it, Governor Rendell has a fund where he has $20 million, up to $20 million, approximately $20 million available to build a fund. he needs a match of $20 million. Well, to show our good faith and to show how we're committed, we're prepared to exercise an option we have and purchase the team and take that money along with paying a above-market rent to the Stadium Authority here in Scranton over many, many years to allow there to be a new facility here in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. In other words, we're putting our money where our mouth is as a further example of our commitment to this area. Now, that's a great thing. We just built a brand new stadium in New York, and of course we had all of the, gloom and doom types and all the scare stories about whether it's really going to create jobs or do anything like that. Well, if you go up to Yankee Stadium now and you look at the area in the Bronx, it's been a giant economic engine. We've employed a lot of people with thousands and thousands of construction jobs. People were given an opportunity, like certain minorities and women who didn't have the opportunity. All of that can happen here in this area. Exciting stuff. We have a concert on Monday and Tuesday with Jay-Z, and all the residents, there were stories in the paper, the residents of the Bronx are just so excited because they're getting new business and new people that they would never dream. The same thing could happen here and should happen here. Now, there are people who, say, why do you want the New York Yankees, to be running a baseball team? Maybe the government's a better place to do it. And I submit, if you would rather have the government run a professional baseball team than the New York Yankees, then that's a choice. But I think if you put that choice to 1,000 people, I don't think you get one who would say that they think the government should own and operate a baseball team. We do have a little history, and we do have 27 world championships. We do have, great players who've come through here and great players who will continue to come through here. So going forward, this area, this Stadium Authority, will have a brand new, beautiful ballpark if this successful. There'll be many jobs created. There'll be excitement. And us in Mandalay, and believe me, we take a big role in this. We'll own the team. And the team will be here in Scranton. We don't intend for the team to be anywhere else but in this area. I also want to make clear, we're the Yankees. We hear threats all the time of lawsuits and protests and so forth. We know how to deal with that. We deal with that all the time, and we're very good at dealing with that. We very rarely lose, and so that's meaningless. Where it's important to us, and I want to make it very clear, is if you want the New York Yankees to be here in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and Lackawanna, and Luzerne County, we want to be here. But if people in authority want to threaten us with lawsuits or actions like that, that sends us a message that you don't want us to be here. So we want to be here. We want to be here for a long time. We want to be partners. We want to be part of the community. We want to do all of those things. And I just wanted the people of Scranton, Wilkes-Barre to hear it from me directly, unfiltered, with no varnish on it. This is what's going to happen. Nobody has any hidden tricks. Nobody has any hidden ball tricks. That's my word. I wanted to say it on the record on behalf of the Steinbrenner family and on behalf of the Yankees. That's the real truth. So that's why I'm here. I'm glad to take any questions right after Lon says a few words. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Randy, and good afternoon. I'm going to be a little briefer than Randy was. I'm just going to try and put some meat on the bones, so to speak. We all understand, especially here, about the sanctity of contracts. If I'm not mistaken, that's how this franchise showed up here, very fortunately. And just as fortunately, we have a binding option agreement, we have a binding management agreement, which provides us with various rights. It provides us with rights, it provides the community with benefits. Notwithstanding that, understanding what the governor is capable of doing and understanding with what we have and our ability to provide additional benefits and additional enhancements, especially in the face of the alternative, we're prepared to sit down and try and discuss and finalize with the county, with the authority, a manner in which we can, again, enhance our contractual obligations. For instance, and Randy touched on this, we're prepared to provide for and negotiate for an above-market rate for our rent, not only on an annual basis, but also to provide for an incentive rent. Now, understanding that our option agreement provides that we have to have a negotiation for a 20-year lease, we're prepared to even increase that from 20 years to 30 years. And very fortunately, we have an option after that for four additional 5-year options. So what we're looking at, if I could do my math, 30 and 20 is 50. So if someone's wondering what we might be doing in 50 years, we all should gather here at that point, 50 years from now, and we can figure out what we'll be doing. Now, we look at a 20 to 30-year term. We look at an above annual rent. We're looking at an incentive rent where we can provide for a payment to the county an amount that is geared specifically to our fan base. Fans that come in, and we'll pay a per head for each fan, and be able to use that revenue or a portion of that revenue to create a sinking fund to provide for capital expenditures on a go-forward basis. Now, let's talk about future capital expenditures. They are not necessarily called for in the operating agreement and the option agreement, but we're prepared to come forward with a schedule of areas that we will both maintain and provide capital for the repairs, maintenance, and operation of those aspects of it. Now, Randy mentioned, and I will again mention, there's a concern that we will leave after the lease is up, which, as I said, could be 50 years from now. And there has been a suggestion that the Yankees, because we can only remain pursuant to a PDC, and by the way, a PDC can be 2 years, but we're staying with the 4 years, which is the maximum it can be. But we're also prepared to provide for an early test of determining the sale of that franchise. For instance, if the Yankees were to leave because they didn't renew the PDC, we're prepared to have the actual appraised value become the sale price so that the franchise doesn't leave and the franchise can be purchased by the community. We've also come up with a manner in which the appraisal can be made something which both sides can live with, where we use a group of appraisers. It is not us making that determination. You choose an appraiser, we choose an appraiser, they collectively choose a third appraiser. We provide our belief as to what the fair value of the market is for that club here in Scranton. The county does so. The appraisers, 3 of them, choose one of those options. So we can't dictate a price. We can't control the team leaving because it's really going to be up to the county.